And they look as miserable as sin, and that is one of the things, this feeling of great esprit that she conveys.
Paris also had won a controversial following among teenagers who saw her as a role model.
Definitely, I see girls trying to be like her. Everybody's walking around with their little dog all the time with their little jewelry and sweaters on. Like, oh my gosh. I think the other day I was walking down the street and somebody had a dog and they're like, come on, Tinkerbell. And I thought, oh, brother.
Paris has had a big impact on the way that young girls dress. Kind of in the way that Madonna dressed in the early 80s. Because Paris puts very unusual things together that probably wouldn't work on a lot of people, but somehow seeing them on her, instead of being trashy, they become fun and sexy.
I think she appeals to that tween demographic in a way that is disturbing. She's a young woman in her 20s. She can do what she likes, but the kind of messages she's sending to, 10-year-olds is a little different and problematic, I think.
Not many of the headlines focused on Paris's charity work, which centered on the Hilton family cause of fighting breast cancer.
We just did a big fundraiser in the Hamptons for raising money for breast cancer. And I had started a foundation for multiple sclerosis research, and my mother recently passed away from that. And the girls have been out actively helping out in both those causes, and they've helped out with children's causes as well. Paris was just in town the other day for a special event for children. We had a live auction. Paris and Nikki were modeling clothes and jewelry and different things.
But not all news events about Paris in 2004 were in the heiress's control. That summer, her house was broken into. Her beloved dog Tinkerbell briefly disappeared. At the same time, Hilton went through a messy public breakup with Backstreet Boys singer Nick Carter. There were even rumors of violence.
Nick has denied that he hit her, but what is clear is that they did get into a fight of some sort, an argument that did become physical, and all I know is I saw her the next day and she had bruises on her arm, she had a fat lip, and it looked like someone had beat her up.
Paris still couldn't escape the most notorious incident from her past, the Rick Solomon sex tape. In January of 2005, Hilton was investigated for theft and vandalism at a Sunset Strip newsstand. Allegedly, Paris angrily grabbed a copy of the tape and ripped down a poster promoting the video. No charges were filed.
This is a newsstand that she goes to every week for the last few years, and she walks up and she sees all of a sudden they're not only selling the sex tape of her, but they have a huge poster of the sex tape with her on it right there on the sidewalk, and she was really offended by it. Paris has made a lot of mistakes in her life, and one of the mistakes was that she lost her cool. But anyone who had any doubts that she didn't want this tape out, you just look at that incident and that says a lot.
In time it will go away, but it will always be part of her landscape, and everybody knows that, so.
Throughout it all, Paris's parents, Rick and Kathy, only expressed support for their daughter. And in 2004, Kathy, a former actress, even announced plans to star in her own TV reality series. It was an ironic twist after Kathy's initial objections to Paris's career path as a model and a TV star.
My mother's always been very supportive of Paris and I, and always encouraged us to, work. I don't understand these children that just don't do anything. It's just so unfulfilling to me, just to, take your parents' money and go shopping, and you don't feel really good about yourself.
It's interesting, the Hilton name has been, branded as a hotel name, but with Paris and Nikki's success, now my poor father, Barron, who's worked his whole life, people come to him and say, are you related to Paris and Nikki? And it happens to me as well. Are you Paris and Nikki's father? And it's just hilarious.
2 years after becoming a national celebrity, Paris Hilton had lost none of her power to dominate the headlines. In February of 2005, a third season of The Simple Life, this time featuring Paris and Nicole Richie as interns, was another ratings blockbuster. Its premiere pulled in over 13 million viewers.
If you just put water in coffee, does it work? So sick.
No! Not in front of the passengers!
Oh my God. Sorry.
As a wide line of fashion products showed, Hilton was now more than a pop culture icon. She was a successful commercial brand.
The Paris Hilton brand has been so lucrative for her because she's an American original. I mean, when you think Paris Hilton, you instantly get a certain image, and you know there's going to be a certain amount of quality associated with it.
I'm very proud of her. She's working very hard, and she's becoming a brand, and I think it's exciting.
The 24-year-old was also ready to create a strong identity as a movie star. In 2005, Paris took a step forward in her ambition to be an actress by co-starring in a big-budget remake of the horror classic House of Wax.
The biggest jury that's still out in Paris Hilton's life is her acting career. No one really knows, because pretty much so far Paris has made a killing playing herself. And it is very difficult to play yourself. Many people don't realize this, and she's done it brilliantly.
There's a lot of potential there. One thing Paris has showed all of us is that when she puts her mind to something, she really can get what she wants. And it's just up to her. If she puts all the kind of hard work and dedication and commitment that she's shown in other facets of her career into acting, she could really, really be a talented actress that will get a lot of attention.
Hilton was also moving forward in her personal life. After several months without a serious boyfriend, Paris was beginning to mature as a person.
Being unattached was really the best thing for her because she hadn't been alone for like 3 or 4 years. She had one boyfriend after another, and it's been a really important period in her life to just be alone, to be single, and it's really, the real Paris Hilton has sort of emerged during that time.
All I care about is just having a family of children. And I think once you have that, then you're totally centered, and that's what life is about.
She talks about being a mom. All her little animals are her practice, I think. She's going to be a very good mom because she's very nurturing and she has good maternal instincts. She's like this intriguing combination of woman and child. To me, I see her like that. You know, she's beautiful and she's, you know, funny and she's smart, but yet she's like this little mischievous little rebel.
The truth is that Paris has changed a lot. She really started to evolve into someone who's a little bit more sophisticated, who can present herself in a different way because she's growing up. She's learned a lot.
That's hot.
Paris, she is who she is. And if you don't make your own mistakes at 22, when are you ever going to make them? Because by 44, your life's going to be totally different.
Now we're real cops.
At the core, you know, there's a narcissist in all of us, and whether we admit it or not, we want to be Paris Hilton.
You have to believe in yourself, and I'm totally sure that Paris does.
Bye, guys.
Paris Hilton continues to live her not-so-simple life in the fast lane. In May of 2005, the heiress announced her engagement to Greek shipping heir Paris Latsis. But just 4 months later, the engagement was called off. Not one to waste any time, hours after the breakup was announced, Hilton was spotted cavorting on the LA club scene with another shipping heir, Stavros Niarchos III, ex-flame of Mary-Kate Olsen. However, the two claimed to be just friends. And after a much-publicized riff with former best friend Nicole Richie, Fox announced that the hit reality series The Simple Life would go on, but with Richie being replaced by Kimberly Stewart, daughter of rock star Rod Stewart. That too has changed. Richie and Hilton have reunited, at least for professional purposes. But with Fox having dropped the series from its schedule, Paris has announced that the 4th season will still start filming November 1st, and all TV networks are fighting for it. Wherever Paris Hilton and her show end up, the reality is they'll continue to be a big hit.